The sun was setting over the small village at the foot of Kachi-Kachi Yama, the Crackling mountain. The sky was painted with warm colors, like a gentle smile. In a little house, an old man and an old woman were preparing dinner together. They moved slowly, enjoying each other's company. The old man, named Kaito, was stirring a pot of soup on the stove, while the old woman, named Akane, was arranging fresh vegetables on a plate. As they worked, they talked softly to each other. "The air is crisp today, isn't it?" Akane said, looking out the window. Kaito nodded, "Yes, it smells like autumn is coming." The smell of cooking rice and soup filled the house, making their stomachs growl with hunger. Outside, the sound of wind through the bamboo trees was like a gentle whisper, a lullaby to the village. As the stars began to twinkle in the sky, Kito and Akane sat down to eat their dinner together. They shared stories of their day, and the old man told Akane about his walk on the mountain. "I saw a beautiful bird with shiny feathers," he said. "It sang a sweet song." Akane smiled. "I'm glad you had a nice walk, dear." They ate in comfortable silence, listening to the crackling sound of the mountain in the distance. The Crackling Mountain was a special place, where the earth was warm and the trees were green all year round. The villagers believed that the mountain had a magical power, which made the plants grow strong and healthy. Kito and Akane loved to walk on the mountain, feeling the warm earth beneath their feet. As they finished their dinner, they looked out the window and saw the mountain rising up into the night sky, its peak hidden in the mist. The room was cozy, with a fire burning in the hearth. The flames danced and crackled, casting shadows on the walls. Kito and Akane felt grateful for this peaceful life, surrounded by nature's beauty. They sat together, watching the fire and listening to the sound of the mountain. The crackling grew louder, like a gentle drumbeat, and the old couple felt their eyelids growing heavy. As the night deepened, the village grew quieter. The stars shone brighter, and the moon rose over the mountain. Kito and Akane sat in comfortable silence, enjoying the peacefulness of the evening. The crackling sound of the mountain was like a lullaby, rocking them gently into a state of relaxation. Their breathing slowed, and their minds grew calm. The world outside was dark and still, but in their little house, all was warm and cozy. The old couple's eyes began to close, and they leaned back in their chairs. The fire crackled and spat, sending sparks up the chimney. The room was warm and snug, filled with the scent of cooking and the sound of the mountain. As they drifted off to sleep, they felt the presence of the Crackling Mountain, watching over them like a gentle guardian. The mountain's magic was all around them, filling their hearts with peace and their minds with calm. And as they slept, the mountain's crackling grew softer, a gentle whisper in the darkness. The night was deep and dark, with only the sound of the mountain and the occasional hoot of an owl breaking the silence. Kito and Akane slept peacefully, their dreams filled with visions of the mountain and its magical power. As they slept, the fire in the hearth burned low, casting a warm glow over the room. The shadows on the walls grew longer and more gentle, like soft fingers stretching out to touch the old couple. Outside, the village was quiet, with only the occasional sound of a dog barking in the distance. The stars shone brightly in the sky, and the moon cast a silver glow over the thatched roofs of the houses. The wind rustled through the bamboo trees, causing the leaves to whisper softly to each other. The sound was like a gentle stream, flowing smoothly and peacefully through the night. As the night wore on, a young girl named Imiko walked through the village, carrying a small basket of fresh herbs. She had been out gathering plants on the mountain, and was now on her way home to make a tea for her mother. As she walked, she noticed the warm glow of Kato and Akane's fire, and she smiled to herself. She knew that the old couple was sleeping peacefully, surrounded by the magic of the mountain. Imiko walked quietly, not wanting to disturb the old couple. She passed by their house, and continued on to her own home, which was nestled at the edge of the village. As she walked, she noticed the beauty of the night, the way the stars shone like diamonds in the sky, and the way the moon cast a silver glow over the landscape. She felt grateful for this peaceful life, surrounded by nature's beauty and the kindness of the villagers. As Imiko approached her home, she saw her mother sitting on the porch, watching the stars. Her mother, named Yumi, was a wise and gentle woman, with a deep understanding of the natural world. She smiled as Imiko approached, and said, "Welcome home, my child. I see you've been gathering herbs on the mountain." Imiko nodded, and showed her mother the basket of fresh plants. Yumi smiled, and said, "Let's make a tea, and drink it together under the stars." Together, Imiko and Yumi made a tea from the fresh herbs, and sat down on the porch to drink it. The tea was warm and soothing, filled with the scent of the mountain and the magic of the night. As they drank, they talked softly, watching the stars twinkle in the sky. The night was peaceful, with only the sound of the mountain and the occasional hoot of an owl breaking the silence. Imiko and Yumi felt grateful for this time together, surrounded by the beauty of nature and the love of each other. As they sat on the porch, they noticed the sound of the mountain growing softer, like a gentle whisper in the darkness. The wind rustled through the bamboo trees, causing the leaves to whisper softly to each other. The sound was like a lullaby, rocking Imiko and Yumi into a state of relaxation. Their eyes grew heavy, and they felt their minds growing calm. The world was peaceful, with only the sound of the mountain and the beauty of the night filling their hearts with wonder and their minds with peace. And as they drifted off to sleep, they felt the presence of the Crackling mountain, watching over them like a gentle guardian, filling their hearts with love and their minds with calm. The night air was filled with the sweet scent of blooming flowers, and the sound of the mountain grew softer, like a gentle whisper in the darkness. Imiko and Yumi sat on the porch, surrounded by the peacefulness of the night, and felt their hearts fill with love and their minds with calm. The stars shone brightly in the sky, like diamonds twinkling in the darkness, and the moon cast a silver glow over the landscape. The world was quiet, with only the occasional hoot of an owl breaking the silence. As they sat on the porch, Emiko and Yumi felt their eyelids growing heavy, and their breathing slow. They were surrounded by the beauty of nature, and the love of each other. The mountain, the trees, the flowers, and the stars all seemed to be whispering softly to them, telling them to sleep, to rest, and to dream. The sound of the wind rustling through the bamboo trees grew softer, and the leaves whispered softly to each other, like a gentle lullaby. Yumi put her arm around Emiko and pulled her close. "It's time to sleep, my child," she said softly. Emiko nodded and stood up, stretching her arms and yawning. Yumi stood up too, and together they walked into their home, surrounded by the peacefulness of the night. The house was warm and cozy, filled with the scent of cooking and the love of family. Emiko and Yumi walked to their bedroom, and lay down on their futons, feeling the softness of the blankets and the comfort of the pillows. As they lay down, the world outside grew quieter, and the darkness deepened. The stars shone brightly in the sky, and the moon cast a silver glow over the landscape. The mountain, the trees, and the flowers all seemed to be sleeping, surrounded by the peacefulness of the night. Emiko and Yumi felt their hearts fill with love, and their minds with calm. They closed their eyes, and let the softness of the blankets and the comfort of the pillows lull them into a deep sleep. The night air was filled with the sweet scent of blooming flowers, and the sound of the mountain grew softer, like a gentle whisper in the darkness. The world was quiet, with only the occasional hoot of an owl breaking the silence. The stars shone brightly in the sky, like diamonds twinkling in the darkness, and the moon cast a silver glow over the landscape. Emiko and Yumi slept peacefully, surrounded by the love of each other, and the beauty of nature. The mountain, the trees, and the flowers all seemed to be watching over them, filling their hearts with love and their minds with calm. As the night wore on, the darkness deepened, and the world grew quieter. The stars shone brightly in the sky, and the moon cast a silver glow over the landscape. The mountain, the trees, and the flowers all seemed to be sleeping, surrounded by the peacefulness of the night. Emiko and Yumi slept peacefully, surrounded by the love of each other, and the beauty of nature. The world was quiet, with only the sound of their soft breathing breaking the silence. And as they slept, the night air grew softer, and the darkness grew deeper, until everything was quiet and still.